Okay. Rosalind and Jocelyn, I would like to channel about mansplaining, taking the high road, being the mature one, and being triggered. Does all of this relate? Yes, this is all relating to right now. Rosalind, Jocelyn, do you have words to say on these issues that women face? Dear Kelly, thank you for inviting us in on these topics and to wage our opinion. Well, women are the more mature of the sexes. Is that what you want to hear? However, we need to always, when we find ourselves in these divisive topics, we need to find neutrality and give credit to the other side. And it's part of why you're frustrated, is that they don't listen. These two men in my life were not listening, and they were very close to me, and it was very triggering, and I was hurt. I felt like I was not heard. And if you want other people to have the patience to listen to your perspective, you gotta give them the same. You gotta, and yeah, it is tiring to always do this, to always, with every single argument, recognize that you're being triggered because of what's inside you. So whatever triggers you, it's because it was already within you, but it was dormant, and this is bringing it to the surface. Whatever the situation is, it's bringing it to the surface, and it's being brought to the surface so that you can change your story around it, because what you have programmed in your belief system is causing you a limitation because of it, the belief, identifying you as a person as less than your full potential. So whatever that belief is, if it's limiting you, as in it's identifying with something less than you are, it's not going to feel good. It's going to trigger you. And so why do we get triggered? We get triggered because there's something that we believe that society taught us that does not align with our true highest potential of expression. Okay? And it's something that can only be shifted within the person who recognizes it. And that's going to be the wounded person who's wounded by these beliefs. People who are not wounded by beliefs, i.e. men who are not wounded by mansplaining, well, they are being wounded because they're not hearing the higher perspective from the women. But that wounding is actually more subconscious. So even though you feel like you're being mature because you're having to be patient with the mansplaining, and they just don't have the perspective you have to even hear what you're saying, that's a wounding on their part too, Cal. So let that understanding that it's a wounding on their part too help you chill out and not get so defensive. Both sides are wounded in all of this. Both the masculine and the feminine have been wounded by the programming. So they are not the enemy. Okay? The men that mansplain and don't listen are not the enemy. They were taught to be that way. Okay, I'm calling on light around this situation so in my heart I can heal and I can forgive, because I'm very angry. And I don't think these men saw it coming. They didn't see it coming. I sort of exploded. And I'm just not feeling very high frequency right now. So recognize that when you're triggered, actually what it means is something within your belief system is being questioned, and it doesn't feel good because it takes discomfort to change. And the change has to begin with the person who sees the error in the belief. It has to begin in the woman. The change to mansplaining begins in the woman. And when a man is mansplaining to you, which to me means he's not listening. He's telling me how it is. If I give a perspective, he immediately shuts it down and gives his own perspective. So how do you deal with the emotional response of not being heard? Well, first thing you need to do is tell yourself that he's also wounded. He's coming from a wounded place to be doing that, to shut you down. Because actually what I noticed this time is that one of the men that was kind of treating me this way this morning, I could tell that the reason he was acting like that is because he didn't have the answer to provide for me. And what I'm learning about the divine masculine is that they like to take care of you. They like to protect you, provide for you, and take care of you. And if a man cannot do those things, he's going to justify in his head another explanation of the situation that makes it okay that he doesn't do those things. If he's not capable of protecting or fixing a problem, he's going to redefine the whole situation so that it makes it okay that he doesn't help you. He's going to go, oh, that's okay. I can't do that. I can't do anything about it. So everything has to be okay. Because men like for things to feel okay. I've been noticing this. Men want to take care of things, and if they can't take care of things, they tell you a story about why. I feel like over the past month, every time I talk to a guy, he's bragging about something. So when you understand the male ego, you have to understand it from the perspective of the purpose of the masculine. The masculine is designed not to be the communicator. He's designed to be the pillars, the foundation of support, okay? Providing and protecting, and he's not necessarily a great listener. So giggle about it. Giggle and loosen up and chill out and walk away. If you get triggered and they're not hearing you and you just sound like a crazy person, you're fit. The more they don't listen, the more frustrated I get, the more I sound like a crazy person. Just walk away. Walk away, cry, run, have your fit, whatever. And then listen to us. And we're going to tell you that, yes, you're going to have to continue to be patient, because women have the listening skills and the communication skills. We know how to put words to things when men don't. In general, this isn't 100%. Of course, there's no 100%. It's gray. Some women are better at athletics and some men are better at feeling. This is how it is. So don't worry about that. But generally, the masculine energy on the planet has its purpose, and the feminine energy on the planet has her purpose, and we're returning back to the natural order of things. We're returning back to authenticity and health and holistic living, and these are when these two masculine and feminine energies are in their highest potential, then it's a very beautiful relationship, and the men are having to heal at the same time the women are having to heal. So that's really the bottom line that we want to share in this video, is that as divine feminines, we have to support the men in their healing. We have to be patient. We have to be patient. You have to be patient, because when you have talents or skills or resources above average, you're responsible. You've been given it because you're trusted to be responsible with it. So if you are the one who's more mature in these conversations, we're sorry that sucks for you. You're tired of that, but that's just where it is. That's just what it is. You're gonna have to continue to be the mature one and take the high road. And you know what? Sometimes, Cal, you notice that, like, you think you're mature, but actually you're barely hanging in there at being neutral. And so you're not necessarily always the only one taking the high road. It could be that they're taking the high road from another way that they could have gone into the direction of their ego as well. So women and men are healing right now. The patriarchal system, I heard some people calling it a patriarchal problem, and that's not it. It's not a patriarchal, it's a deep state. Deep state's fault for everything, the way it looks. And then it's not even, they're just playing their role in this world of duality. So ultimately, none of it matters. There's no one to blame, really. You just have to get through the best you can. And these two men have a lot of love in their hearts. They didn't do any of it on purpose. You know that. It's all subconscious. It's because they can't even see what they're doing. And it's very frustrating. And that's just the same frustration as all of society that's broken. It's the same frustration. Don't blame them. Okay, don't blame the victim. Kelly, don't blame the victim. That's what we want you to know, that men are victims in this too, because it wasn't a patriarchal society. I mean, kind of, yeah, but it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been fucked up even if it was a matriarchal society. It would have been wounding to us as long as the deep state was in control of everything. So it's not exactly right to say it's a patriarchal problem. We don't need to blame men. We need to empower men to feel safe in their healing. Wow. Okay. I know you guys are always more mature than me. See, you always have something to work towards, Kel. All right, go give those men a hug. And you don't have to say you're sorry. They don't need you to say you're sorry. They don't need you to say anything. Unless it's actually practical, useful advice. Don't say anything. Just keep loving them. And not everything has to be worked out through words. And that's what the men want us to understand, is that they don't need words for everything. Sometimes words can actually make more problems than be helpful. We encourage this with your children as well. We told you to use more nonverbals with your kids. Use silence more, Kel. You didn't think you were going to get a chore with this channeling. You thought you were just going to be told how to feel better, but we want to give you tools so that you are empowered to live your highest possible life. And fighting with people is not going to elevate you to your highest possible expression. Learning how to let people who they are and love them for where they are, that's our goal. Because everybody's honored. The men are honored in the new earth. Absolutely. Of course. It's going to be a sharing of patriarchal and matriarchal leadership. So we need the men to heal. And they're not going to heal if you're pouting. If you're pouting about your conversations. You need to meet them where they are. You need to communicate with them in a style that works for them. And direct confrontation about your disagreements is not a way that helps anybody resolve differences. So we applaud you for calling us in, and continue to send light. Remember, they're wounded. Remember, you can use silence in your interactions, and you can still figure out what their purpose and intention is, as long as you expect that they're living their highest version right now, and you just hope that's true and you live with that truth. They'll actually move forward in their highest version if you hold that belief for them. That's another way of holding space, is believe in your men. Believe they're capable, and give them a chance to do it. And don't hold them back, and don't complain, and work on yourself. Be patient, go breathe, go run, go do what you have to do to get that anxiety out of your body before you have that conversation. It's a good idea. This is long enough. I don't want to watch 14 minutes being lectured about how great men are. Because you can be manipulative with your words, Kel. You can. You can be very sharp with your words, and your ego is a little bit involved, which means it's not going to help anybody to their highest. Okay? As long as you're grumpy, your ego's involved, so you need to take a break from any communication until you chill that out. Okay. Much love.